Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome back to Laurel Park, Maryland Jockey Club at Laurel Park, kicking off 2017 New Year's Day with a 9-race card this afternoon. Fast on the main track and a really nice afternoon here at Laurel Park. We've got a high temperature, well, about 50 or so today, so it's going to be a nice afternoon. Dave Rodman with Keith Fustel on Today at the Races, sponsored by Fidelity First as we ring in 2017. How was 2016 for you?
It wasn't too bad,
Yeah.
but I'm looking for a little bit more promise, and I like a couple horses today, maybe kickstart us into the new year.
That's all right.
Yeah.
We'll start off the new year profitable, hopefully. And I tell you, yesterday, to end 2016, Keith, we had some really nice performances. Irish War Cry, O Dionysus, putting on a show down the stretch, a photo finish in the Marylander, and a really nice, promising filly, Ms. Locust Point, who actually went faster than the boys did as a 2-year-old at the second of our 2-year-old stakes yesterday afternoon. We had 5 stakes on the program. Ms. Locust Point looks like she's got plenty of upside for service.
No doubt about it. I mean, is she the next Catherine Sophia for that barn? We're not sure. She's going to have to move up a little bit more off of that, but that certainly was a strong performance comparatively to the boys and the way that she did it. We thought, maybe a little hiccup in the debut. Really won easily that second start. The question mark for me was who she beat second time out, but she showed she was on her A game yesterday.
Right. Are you comparing just concrete times one to the other? Catherine, excuse me, not Catherine Sophia, but Ms. Locust Point certainly did go faster, but you can't take anything back. Irish War Cry, who had come from off the pace, was right on the lead and battled back hard down on the inside, and a photo that was extremely tight here. And stakes action for 2016 in the books, and we'll start again in 2017. The promise of a new year and some young horses now, the 2-year-olds turning 3, and look ahead to the Triple Crown season.
We've had some nice horses, around here, the 2-year-olds. It's one of our better crops, I thought, Dave.
Absolutely.
This year moving into the 3-year-old season. And both those horses yesterday looked to me like they'll stretch out okay. I know the family of O Dionysus it's had some, kin to some route runners. Irish War Cry, it looked like to me he was waiting a little bit, still a little bit green. He was rank on the front end, hard to rate early. He fought the early restraint, but I think both those horses will go ahead and stretch out.
Say Miss Locust Point, too, kind of shifted and maybe a little tad in the stretch there, maybe not as straight through the stretch as Catherine Sophia was last year. So it'll be interesting to watch the 2-year-olds develop. Today at Laurel Park, to kick off a new year, we've got a New Year's buffet.
Yes.
That's in the Garden Terrace here, the first floor of the clubhouse near Tips and Tycoons from noon to 4, $32 per person. Big crowd yesterday on the terrace dining room for our New Year's Eve buffet, and some friends of mine actually came out, and interesting to know that they heard nothing about horse racing until California Chrome came along.
Wow.
So reminded them that California Chrome and the Pegasus World Cup's on the way. So maybe they'll be back and join us here for the Pegasus World Cup on January 28th at Gulfstream Park, the Pegasus World Cup Invitational. What else is going on today?
Well, you've got some fantasy football, right? And we've got the the fantasy football Pick 7 contest. I don't know if this is going to be the last week or they're going to carry it into the playoffs or not, but every weekend up at the sports bar, go up there to the second floor sports bar, get yourself a program, buy a program, you get a voucher, you go upstairs. We'll have somebody there to help you through. If you're a little bit confused, go to the self-service machine, and hopefully you can come home with a winner playing for a pot of $2,500. And this is a week interesting from a football standpoint. You've got some teams kind of jockeying for position, some teams maybe taking it off a little bit. That's a tough little call.
Any hints there for any of the slots, the 7 slots?
I'm looking for players. I haven't completely looked at the list. Glanced at it yesterday. Action Andy had one up in the press box, but I'm looking for players that you think are going to play the duration of their game today.
Okay.
Some players you might see going for a half, and if they've already got a playoff spot locked up, in fear of injury, they may step to the side. But Pittsburgh's backup running back is one that I think I would use today.
$2,500 up for grabs, and that's the second floor to play the fantasy football Pick 7, which is our new sports bar here at Laurel Park. Action-packed and live yesterday after the races, all during the races, and after a live race crowd too as well to watch the simulcast action from Santa Anita and other tracks as well. We've got 9 on the agenda here on New Year's Day to kick off 2017. Clean slate with the pick 5, the pick 6, or 2 pick 5s in the pick 6, and Super High Five, as well as everything was a mandatory payout to clean the chalkboard yesterday afternoon. I didn't mean that in a derogatory way, chalkboard. It was
it
was
was
a little chalky.
chalky,
I
wasn't it?
meant to clean the slate, I guess. But yeah, like I said, my buddies up there, they paid a $54 late pick 4 ticket given to them by me, and I got $50 back. So they were really pleased with that.
That wasn't too bad. Got a lot.
I should have singled Miss Locust Point. Still, it would have been a $50 return for $50 payoff, $12 investment. So, but generally speaking, pick 4, pick 5s, great bets here at Laurel Park. Pick 6 as well. So let's.
And I like the late pick 4 later today. We'll get to that when we get to race number 6. Let's get it started though, Dave, in the opener. Maiden
race.
fillies, right? 3-year-olds.
Special weight. We've got a video spotlight to kick off the day for Keith, and I believe it's going to be your top pick as well. I'm so money to get the money, M-U-N-N-Y, by Munnings. Trey Abbott for DB Dojo.
And you're not going to get 19-1 today like you got on her in that debut. Newly turned 3-year-old took pressure from both sides around the turn. And this was a pretty good field. We saw Lift Up, second-place finisher, who's going to be on the extreme outside. Just misses the sine wave who comes in between horses in the Blue Silks. But let's concentrate on the leader. That's I'm So Money, the number 7, the number 5 horse today. Drifted in towards the rail. We know it wasn't good at that point, December the 10th. But look at the way she holds on. Just gives way grudgingly. Very late after taking all of that pressure for about the first half of a mile to spurt clear of that field. I think she can control things on the front end today.
All right, 6 is going to be your second pick, Discreet Deceit. I find interesting for one reason. Let's see if it's the same reason you like. What do you like?
Just because she was down inside on the 10th. She flashed a little speed, was kind of sucked back, shuffled back along the rail into the turn, couldn't recover. She's got a good race, October 29th behind Aiden's Ragdoll, tried Stakes Company yesterday. I think she'll definitely bounce back off of that poor effort last night.
Exact reason, and if you think we're kidding, December 10th, that 4th race, she was on the rail. Another horse on the rail named Star Touch came back to win, who was also on that rail on December 10th. So we've already got some concrete evidence there that Discreet Deceit's last race, not exactly a true form there. Racing inside gets an outside draw today.
Let's go back to another one, another horse we're going to use in here, the 2 Small Batch, also December the 10th, bumped, pinched back at the break, saved ground against the grain of the racetrack in the Juvenile Filly Championship. This filly hints at talent. I've been chasing her. Could today be the day? I don't know if she's going to have enough flow, though, up in front of her to get the job done. But I still think she's got some promise, and I still think she'll stretch out a little bit.
Yeah, and Crab Cake's very impressive there in the Juvenile Filly, and she's on the lift maybe 1-2, or I think, of the top, at the time, 2-year-old Maryland-bred fillies. So coming out of that race, deserving much respect, back into maiden company today in the right spot for Linda Albert. Small Batch from Maryland Racing Club, and their silks are, well, the Maryland flag, basically. Interesting. So they're always easy to remember and easy to spot out there on the track. On the second race, scratch number 6, Cowtown Brown. The 3-horse runs for a claiming price of $4,500. Southern Peach, and the weight is 120. Which way did you go in this 5.5 furlong claiming?
Well, you know, third time's a charm maybe for Miss Glengar. I keep chasing her. She's run 2 horrific races since being brought back off of a little bit of a layoff from August to November. A 16 buyer and 11 buyer. Can she bounce back? I don't know. I don't understand. I mean, she's 8 years old. Maybe she's seen better days. They're going to give her one more try. I'm going to give her one more try into a suspect field with some suspect speed up front. Attracts Lynch. The barn has done well with Virgo Lynch, so maybe she can stalk and pounce. I think that, too, Cindy is an interesting newcomer, a new face for Holly Robinson. Gets Trevor McCarthy. She's had success with these horses coming in from Woodbine and Fort Erie. A good percentage in the money percentage with horses transitioning from synthetic to dirt for trainer Holly Robinson. This horse should be fairly close, maybe mid-pack against this field from having to break down inside. But I think this horse is fresh, has run well off of a similar type of layoff. Forward works at Pimlico. Now, I'm not even going to consider the last of 3/8 and 40. Probably just a little maintenance work for the 2 Cindy. So I'm going to throw her into the mix.
Sandy Lane Sunset comes out of the knock race where Smart and Smokin', who's running against her again today, was second, but Miss Glengar, just again, dull in that race. Same
Certainly
race.
dull.
Last time out on
Right.
December the 11th. So 3 of those runners, at least, they're getting a rematch this afternoon. And you think to turn the tables there for Miss Glengar to beat the other 2.
Little shot. The 7's interesting. I mean, I think she's a better mare at 5.5 furlongs, Dave. And she was caught up into the speed. I don't know if she necessarily needs it. She kind of rated back. Knack was just a runaway winner last time. But she's going to be forward. Any way you cut it up, she's going to be right there. Maybe she goes ahead and lets the 4 OT Prayer and the 5 Cobook Valley coming off of the Charlestown, the Mountaineer races. They've got some good early speed. I don't think they want to carry it this far.
Right, they seem to be like the
set up
half
shop
mile.
just outside of them, make the move, and probably go clear. Southern Peach won't be too far back as well.
Yeah, the half-mile speed here in the 5.5 race, you'll probably rely on OT Prayer and Cobook Valley to be up there gunning along on the pace together.
Yeah, this is a tough little race. I mean, not much splitting a lot of horses. Smart and Smoking, you can use her in there as well. I think things have to melt down, though, for her to get up.
Getting closer to our first pick 6 of 2017. That'll start in the 4th, but first we have to sweep to the 3rd race at 1 mile. That's the second wire. Finish scratch the 4, Cool Ruler. For a field of 7, you've got a huge dropper in here, a Colmont Fire, against a bunch of horses who've had some excuses but seem to want to hang a little bit in the stretch. So I see you went with the dropper here.
did.
Colmont Fire, who plunges from 16 non-winners at 2 to the nickel non-winners at 2, going to 1-turn mile. You see Jeezum Jim and his running line 2 back. Certainly been a key horse around here as well. It's now or never. Maybe the old Elvis
It looks
Presley
like
play.
it, and then that's the way. I was really discouraged with the way I'm a Prankster just threw in the towel, kind of battling through softer fractions last time. Was done after 3/4 of a mile. Colmont Fire may not necessarily need to lead. I think this drop picks his head up. He sits just outside of I'm a Prankster. Goes on with it around the turn. I think in front I am, maybe your price shot number 2 for trainer Wayne Potts. Did make a good little run against the bias on December the 16th. Got clear. Faded late. I think this horse holds on a little bit better, but the horse certainly to beat is Mr. Coupons. Just kind of a grinding runner. Doesn't have any real flash to him, but if he kind of runs back to his last race, he's going to be tough.
Yeah, Mr. Coupons a 7-2 in front. I am key 2nd, 3rd picks there out of that common race December 16th, where Run for Zach was a sweeping wide winner. Ran a good second here to a class-dropping Kieran McGee horse. So maybe putting a little extra feather in the cap for one of those 2, and you have to think, well, looking back at the race, maybe since Run for Zach was wide December 16th, in front I am was on the inside. Maybe in front I am's a little bit better second time going for Potts today.
Yeah, I was shocked a little bit. They didn't go real fast, but it showed definitely more speed than what he'd shown up at Woodbine, and it was a nice little quick move for him.
Or a middle move,
yeah, nice little
race,
middle
right?
move, no doubt, and just kind of stayed inside and faded late. Maybe gets the jump on Mr. Coupons again and could turn the tables at a price.
And Wayne Potts has had a couple more weeks to work with this horse. He came from Canada last race November 19th, worked there November 12th. So how long was he here before his race December 16th is the question. And so 2 more weeks could make a world of difference there for in front.
A little shortening, going to the 1-turn mile. Maybe he'll prefer this a little bit better than the 2 turns. I think it's a little tougher race than the 2 turns, in my real opinion, though. But Colmont Fire, I think, like I say, now or never. He should open up a day late lead around the turn. Can he hold on? Major question.
8, 7, 2, 3 in race 3. Plenty more to come, including the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6, our second pick 5 of the day. Coming up in a moment, and Keith has a late pick 4 play in the spotlight this afternoon on Today at the Races after this.
The all-new Laurel Park is beyond your expectations. Feel the anticipation.
This long shot.
Witness the speed. Experience the thrill.
Welcome back to Today at the Races, sponsored by Fidelity. First, Dave Rodman with Keith Fustel from Echo Basin, our morning line maker. In the fourth race, we do to start off the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6. And a key scratch in here, number 6, Majestic Hussar, who was one of the 2 class droppers entered. Majestic Hussar out, Never Stop Looking. The other runner dropping from $12,500 to $7,500 with the condition race. Kind of a different company for Never Stop Looking today for the first time in a while. And that is going to be your top pick from the Claudio Gonzalez barn.
Yeah, Katie Davis gets the ride. Might be one of her first mounts, if I think maybe for the barn. Yeah, for Claudio. Interesting. This horse. I've really liked this horse for a long, long time. He's always been a trier. I'm going to throw out the last race. I think at 5.5 furlongs, this might be a good distance. He's only tried it 3 times in his career, but some suspect speed up front. I think they'll be going quick with Chicago Sun and Buckingham Lane. I think we're going to have an honest pace up front, a little drop into the condition. And Katie Davis, team up for a little win from just off of it.
What's that I hear?
Statman's got something.
The theme song from Statman. Here at.
All right, what do you have?
Claudia Gonzalez dropping into $7,500 after time away. You see in daily racing form stats, 61 to 180 days away. He's only 6%. The 17 starts. I mean, stretch that way back to the Wayback Machine all the way out to 5 years, which is the max there. He's 4 for 63, so
you're
a
gonna
little
bury
bit.
Me, Rod Dog. That's great.
A little cause for alarm, but I mean the horse is so much back class. It's initially, I mean, I looked at the horse, that's the horse to beat. He was 4 lengths behind Service for 10 in his better days back in the summer of last year, 2016, as we ring in the new year here. But your second pick here, Tiz Showbiz, is a reclaim for you, McMahon. So. If the 7 doesn't show up for one reason or another, then the race becomes a little bit of a jumble.
It does. Tiz Showbiz down inside. A reclaim for McMahon, as you said. A good effort against Ground Control and Cuddy Shark. Tough old knocker there. Is he going to get kind of shuffled a little bit too far back? He'll make a decent run, I believe. I think San Cristo, I thought, ran pretty well last time. He's kind of back into form for trainer Michael Gorham. No disgrace last time out. A decent little middle move against Classic Wildcat. Drops from open company to the condition 75. And I think with some other speed, he'll be able to drop and save a little bit more ground today, which will enhance that late run.
Yeah, I mean, 18-1 win, and you're going to finish 4th, San Cristo for sure, but behind Classic Wildcat. How many races has he won around here?
Cowboy
and the Pulse.
King comes back, wins the other day, wins yesterday.
That's a strong race. So a good kind of even place 4th, being 4 wide, making a move in that race December 16th, which was, I think, the best part of the track, right? That's the same we just talked about that day. And it doesn't matter. He just kind of even paced through the stretch against some good horses, good claimers, hard-knocking claimers. 7, 1, 8, 9 to kick off our 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 in the 4th race of the day. The 5th of the afternoon is our second Pick 5. The first Pick 5 starts in the opener with a mandatory payout the first 5 races. Our late Pick 5 here at Laurel Park always has carryover potential. Scratch the 8, Keysgar Boy, and the 9 Girls Got Rhythm. The 6 is 2 over, so a shortened field of 7, but still $1 super high 5 wagering, races with 7 or more wagering interests. And speaking of old hard knockers like Classic Wildcat, here is who's trained by King Leatherberry. He's got old Antietam Creek in here as well, number 3. You've got him in the mix, but leaning to the rail. The rail there for Kieran McGee.
Yeah, my question is the 6 furlongs for Antietam Creek. She was way out there the other day on December 23rd in the best part of the track. Just couldn't quite outdo Color Me Sexy through the stretch. In this field, though, she looks like she's going to be on the engine. When you kind of break down, look at internals comparatively for sprinting, she should be to the front. My question mark is the distance, 6 furlongs. And I think I think I Am Superior too has got a shot to just kind of lay right off of her around the turn. If she pressures her enough, she held on pretty well after an extended duel with Pernata, our top selection last time. I think she's fine on the turn back. But Pernata, I've seen this horse run from off the pace going 7 furlongs. I think last time she held great, considering that extended duel, 23, 447, and 4 good internals last time out. Just fading very, very late with Trevor. Trevor comes back for Kieran. I think this horse can move into position early, get a good stalking spot. The track seems to be playing a little bit fairer and can kind of wear down the speed late.
Better Way for Claudio Gonzalez. I'm just looking back at the form. I happen to see Pernada in black there, meaning Better Way beat Pernada, but beaten 63 lengths Better Way the 4. Last 2 starts, does that mean she's a history lesson, or maybe today's the day to turn it around with a drop?
Well, is she going to be like Glengar? Is she the, kind of the same kind of thing as Miss Glengar?
Good form in the past, but maybe not so good. So Keith goes to the 1 Pernada, the 5 in there. I Am Superior to You just mentioned. The 3 Antietam Creek is 0 for 5 at Laurel. I mean, she's only been out 22 times as a 6-year-old. Was on the best part of the track, as you mentioned. What else were we to cover? The 2
Stat
Sweet
Man,
Peaches.
You got another stat
Here
on.
comes Stat Man
again.
again. Tim Keefe and Fergal Lynch. How about that jockey-trainer combination?
All right.
Since Fergal's arrived here riding for Tim Keefe, 6 for 28 together. That's pretty strong. 6 wins out of 28 tries together. And Sweet Peaches first off the claim for Keefe, and he goes right to Fergal.
Yeah, and that's the right move. The weight, just waited a little bit, time comes back into the condition. She's just running steady, 49, 48, 48 by her speed figures, all which fit in this race. She'll fire up shorter field now. She won't have to navigate through a ton of traffic as she did in a 13-horse field and an 11-horse field. Much clearer way of going probably today for the 2 Sweet Peaches. Would not be a surprise.
I just thought it was an
wins.
interesting claim. Maybe not the kind of horse that Tim Keefe normally claims. I don't know. But it was a good second. Balabusta, who's I think was at 3 in a row.
3 in a row
who has won 3 in a row here at Laurel Park. Okay, the 1-5-3-2 in the 5th. Under our 6th race, Keith has a late pick 4 play to fire up as his main ticket of the day. If you're coming with just a few bucks and you want to play one play, here it is.
Here it is. Yeah, and I think it's a tough little sequence, to be honest with you, Deb. I think the last race is really tough. Get it started, $60. So if you've got 20, you can go find some friends, get a couple extra bucks. But yeah, race 6, we're going to go 4 deep, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Question mark, I'm going to take the 5, Madame Amora, on top in my selections. She will be the speed. Hopefully she can control it wire to wire, but I'm fearful of a couple other horses. We've got a spotlight later on Chapel of Chimes. We're going to go 3 deep in race 7, going for some prices. The question mark horse there, Holy Scat. What's she going to do? Transitioning, trying the dirt for the first time. I like some prices in there as well. The 5 Little Kitten and the 9 Emily Grace, 2 deep in race 8. Claire's Dowry, a real nice win last time. Whenever Hamilton wanted to go, he completely controlled that race. Blew by late. I think that horse fits along with the 8, Like a Lion, and 5 deep in the last is a mad scramble of a race. 12 Stone, a dropper, could be tough. Joe Tess goes off the dead rail to the outside with speed off the claim. Tough little sequence, $60. I think it's going to pay okay though today. Yeah.
No Church Monkey.
That funky monkey?
Yeah. No,
not today.
Your Echo base partner up there, Bill Brasimo. That's his favorite horse, isn't it? Church Monkey.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. No, I know he's not going to use that horse either. Okay, the 6th race to kick off that late pick 4 ticket there. Looking at it, I mean, understanding from the rail no speed, Lizzie, a deep kind of closer. Nikki Roxer Pops has had speed, but is against Rockin' JoJo, 2 out of the last 3. And, Winter from the Cal Lynch barn looks pretty salty, I guess. And Madame Amora, your horse in the Rudy Rod barn as well. Chapel of Chimes, a Maryland Million Distaff winner, the opening race on Maryland Million Day, ultra impressive against restricted company, is going to be our video spotlight here.
Yeah, let's go ahead and pick up Chapel of Chimes. The 12 horse that day, I liked her November the 19th. I thought we were going to get a nice price. You see her there in the green silks, mid-pack, kind of in between horses. You definitely did not want to be inside on the 19th of November. She's kind of caught behind a wall of horses. I thought maybe Jock could have gotten it to the outside mid-turn, decided not to, ends up down inside a slew of horses, and is trying, Dave. You can see visibly trying her best, but on the absolute worst part of the racetrack. Can't kick on, just flattens out. 7th, beaten 4 3/4.
And then the outside flow horses really get away from her there. You can see them kind of quick in there and last furlong to the second wire finish.
Yeah, she doesn't have a ton of speed, but I liked how she was into contention last time out against a similar type of field. You talk about this race. Is the 5 going to be able to go wire to wire? Second off of a little layoff. Definitely, I think taking a drop in class. I know the same allowance condition. Paula Silver Lining, she's hooked up against some good horses. yeah, if she gets to the front, I think she's going to be a lot more braver today than what she was on November 24th. Definitely needed that race.
Lady Terp with a good kind of outside flow in here. I mean, I think Shirley Something is she's really feeling good here the last couple of months for trainer Tim Keefe. I mean, a repeat of that race would put her right there in the mix as well. 5, 6, 4, 7. Yeah. We're going to have to pick it up a little bit here, Keith. We're rolling in the 7th race. The last 3 races of the day, 7, 8, and 9. And there's our final pick 3 on New Year's Day here at Laurel Park. Today at the race is sponsored by Fidelity First with no scratches in the 7th race. Keith, you went to the 5 here. Little Kitten.
9-5, Dave. 9-5.
I'm sorry,
okay.
9-5 in here. Emily Grayson, Little Kitten. And then Sliding Lady and Holy Scat.
Yeah, you did not use Sliding Lady in the pick 6 ticket. Threw the 1 in, just as a kind of an all or nothing type, I thought, transitioning to the main track. I like the 5 and the 9 in here. Little Kitten was down inside last time. The race just kind of got away from her around the turn. She's a little bit better at 7. She'll be definitely closer up, I think, at this distance as well. But let's go top selection, the 9. For trainer Mary Epler. Congrats again on that training title. But Emily Grace, second time in this barn, it's a good move. And second off of a layoff is another good percentage and a positive ROI for this barn. Went back and watched this race. She was a decent third to Lightning Fast Girl, a horse we're very familiar with here in Maryland, is an 8-time winner. She kind of got pushed down to the inside, which was the worst part of the racetrack, on December the 8th at Penn National. She kicked on okay, I thought. They put tired. I thought she was trying to the wire. She looked good physically on the racetrack. There is not a lot of speed in this race, Dave. I think Silly Face will probably go. I think this horse will be poised just outside, maybe make a move around the turn and go on with it.
Good read between the line picks. Second time in the barn, and then she was winless in 2016. But Mary Epler looking to start 2017 with a bang, just as that superior 2016 meet here at Laurel Park in the fall.
How do you like that stat there, man? Route the sprint, 35% off of a 23 horse sample, $4.43. There's your stat.
As we mentioned yesterday, too, if you'd played every Mary Epler horse in the last 5 years here in Maryland, it's incredible, even though she had a good meet in leading trainer here, you still have a positive return on investment through all the peaks and valleys that any barn may go through during a course of years. She's been a real mainstay here. So, yeah, that's a good sniff out there, 9, 5, 3, and 1.
Yeah, hopefully that can kind of blow it up for us for the pick 4.
Yeah, that's the kind of horse you need maybe to eliminate a sizable portion of tickets and move on. Let's go to the 8th in the program, and that is 6 furlongs here, scratch number 9, Fortuchus. I forgot an I guess, but anyway. Let's go to the 8th, and your pick is number 8, Like a Lion.
Right.
Trevor McCarthy aboard for kind of a stranger in town, Silvio Martin barn.
Yeah, we don't see this trainer too often, but the Parks horses we've seen, they come down, they come off of that heavier surface up there, and they transition well to the Laurel surface. This is a race where there's some suspect speed up front, I think, and Merca likes to go. This song is about you. I don't think necessarily has to go, but will be in the flow of things, as will Have Hope. Claire's Dowry is probably, if anything close to her last race, she probably wins right back. I like a little move up. I think Like a Lion is cycling back into her best race. The 3-back race is the one that caught my eye at 7 furlongs. A nice, took pressure the entire way, just faded a little bit late. Casa Diva, though, that winner has come back and ran very well in New York, a 76 and a 2 other than allowance. I think she's kept the right kind of company at Parks, one of those two, Claire's Dowry or Like a Lion. Like a Lion, the right kind of rider. Trevor looks like a horse that's a little bit lazy, needs to be carried to the wire. He's the right kind of rider to do it.
He's a never-give-up rider, as evidenced by your beat in the pick 5 a couple of days ago. Didn't mean to bring that up. Right. Let's go to looking at the 7 closer, Claire's Dowry. It just, visually she was impressive. I mean, she was almost 5-1 that day. Man, she won like a 4-5 shot.
Yes, she did.
She really did. Just powerful through the stretch. No work since then, though, for the Robin Graham barn. So, is she going to kind of maybe bounce a little bit off of that race is kind of the question mark here. Claire's Dowry, because this song is about you, who was second in that race, comes back against her this afternoon. So you have to decide what to do. I think with a filly like that, who was so powerful in victory, coming off a best lifetime Beyer figure of 71.
Exactly. And that little stat at the bottom, one last start. They the barn, they just don't get repeat winners too often. That's my concern. And I tell you, take nothing away with it. Three held pretty well last time. She steadied briefly off the heels of Claire's Dowry. I think there might have been even a foul claim in that race.
Yes, there was. Right, you're right.
But
and she's come back to work.
Improving. Yeah.
December 23rd, half 49. And for speaking of work, Candy Sue. I know you didn't use that horse in the mix. A Matt's runner. Has a good pattern of works at Fair Hill. December 6th, the 13th, the 20th. Whatever happened to her back mid-November with that bad race there as a beaten favorite, maybe it was just a minor issue and they've gotten her over that. She's got some tactical early speed too. And if you see speed holding here today, it's been better the last couple of days here at Laurel Park. Well, Candy Sue may be kind of a moderate price horse for you. Okay, let's go to the 9th and final of the day. You're really spreading in that late pick 4 ticket in the 9th race, eyeing this as a wide open affair. A scratch, any scratches in here?
Scratch the 1A, Seve, part of the entry.
The 1A, Seve, part of the entry is out. And so even though you're spreading in the pick 4, which is a wise choice, you have a top selection, and that is
it's going to be the 7, Magna Word. Just looking for a little bit of a price. Like the race, first time in the Kieran McGee barn in the transition on October the 30th. A nice little quick middle move at 7 furlongs to open up and hold sway over Arrogant Officer. Luna Rock has come back to run well since. Don't know what happened on the 28th. I'm going to toss the last 2. I like the way this barn brings horses back from route to sprint, looking for a price, as there's going to be plenty of speed in here with Burford. Church Monkey has some speed. Hurler will be in the flow, as with Joe Test to the outside. Hurler, a good effort last time, was in the best part of the racetrack, shortens up a bit. This old hard knocker likes Laurel. He could be tough as well. 7-1. 2 and 8. You got anything on 12 stone? 12 stone
well, I mean, you're looking at 12 stone. There's another dropper, the Claudia Gonzalez barn. This one not off of a layoff, as we mentioned earlier today. It's a second off a layoff for 12 stone. But, I mean, obviously, if 12 stone runs his best race, he kind of towers over the field. But, why the drop in for the nickel again this afternoon? I do want to mention Joe Test, though. First off, the claim for Anthony Ferrier. Who's Anthony Ferrier? Well, he's 8 for 33. 8 for 33 first off the claim. Young trainer here in Maryland, looking to establish himself. He's been picking horses here and there, most of them at Charlestown and Mountaineer, but you did remember he did win where the horse off of Claudio, actually, former Claudio horse, a second time off the claim named Showtime. So interesting card game going on here with Joe Test, claimed off a good barn, but drops right to the $4,500, looking to win for a barn that does well off the claims overall. All right. All righty, that's about it for today at the races. Sponsored by Fidelity First. I want to thank you for sponsoring our show today. And we've got some program changes and corrections and other information about what's coming up here in the new year at Laurel Park on the way in just a bit. Keith?
Happy New Year, Dave.
Happy New Year to you.
Hopefully we can make it a profitable
So
one.
far, I'm even.
That's right.
So far. Good luck to everybody.
All right, good luck.